5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. And we are, this is kind of incredible that they're about to complete their series against the Minnesota Vikings. And here we are just in week 8. So they'll all be done with the Vikings after this Sunday. Packers come in 5-1. Vikings, just the opposite. And, for these division games, it just seems like it's not been much of a match for them so far. I guess probably because they haven't faced Chicago yet.
Well, can we be honest for
no honesty here.
I know, right? I'm trying to control my emotions. I'm trying to step out of. I'm trying not to be Leroy instead of being LeRoy.
Oh, just be yourself. Come on now.
Fans don't care. They don't care about Houston. They don't care about Minnesota.
No, they don't.
You play San Francisco next Thursday, but I'm like, guys, it doesn't work like that. I get it. You guys are upset. Last year the team's 13-3. You thought they were going to the Super Bowl. I get it. But that's why I really value Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, and Zadarius Smith. They don't see it as you do fans. But they will give you space to feel that way. That's fine. But you got to give them some space to say, no, let's stay focused on a divisional game. You must win your division first. First things first. Win your division, get into the playoffs, work on home field, get to the Super Bowl. You can't just leap to playing Chicago or San Francisco. That's how you get beat.
Yeah. So you can't look ahead, that's for sure.
You really can't, because that's when people say, is this a trap game? Okay, let's play that game for a second. Is it a trap game? No, because if you beat this team, you were supposed to. It's only a trap game if you lose. That's why Aaron probably got a little frustrated after the Tampa game when people were asking him stuff like, that's kind of a head scratcher. Like J.J. Watt, a guy asked him, how does it feel to be 1-6? Everybody's frustrated playing in a pandemic, okay? But I had to get that out, Tom, before we get to it, because the fans sometimes frustrate me because I've noticed this, though. I've noticed a little trend.
Yeah,
it's a version fans want them to maybe lose just to say they were right, that they didn't get a receiver. I know you got Seth Roberts, but put that to the side. Fans don't care about that. They want you to go get Dez Bryant a name. They want you to say, at least I was right. They didn't get a receiver. They got Jordan Love. So they're hoping the Packers don't succeed. And that's a small portion of the fan base. I'm pleading to that fan base to say, listen, Jordan Love is here. He's a part of the Packers. Let's move on. You can always want more weapons, but we have to move on at some point to notice that this team is all of their goals are still in front of them. And I know what people scream, oh, LeRoy, you're just an apologist for the Packers.
That's what I would say. But the fans have every right to question what happened in Tampa.
Absolutely.
Here it was. They finally faced the team. You could count New Orleans as that was a big win for them.
No, they threw that out too, Tom. They threw it out.
But you come back to this, and they have the right to question whether this is going to be similar to last year. And I don't think any fans take these games for granted. They do expect them to win, no question about it. And that expectation isn't always realistic, because there's all kinds of teams pulling upsets around the NFL.
Exactly. And that's a good measured way of thinking. I get that. But they didn't care that they beat the Texans, who was a bad team, but they were missing 4 starters. No, when you miss
You're right. Well, you should take it for what it was. It was a good win, but it was against the Texans. It was a pretty bad team, right? I mean,
yeah. And so Minnesota. I mean, they traded for Yanni, and then they turned around and traded him away. I mean, we don't tank in the NFL, allegedly. But this
anyway,
they're just giving up.
Yeah. So anyway, let's kind of talk about where the Packers are.
Yeah.
Number one, they've got to get healthy, and they do have some play here given the fact that they aren't playing the Vikings, and then they play San Francisco 4 days after that. So I don't think Matt LaFleur is the guy who would rest people for a division game, but he also has to consider the long-term effects of the season. And if David Bakhtiari is not quite 100%, do you hold him out for San Francisco?
Well, they're definitely going to err on the side of caution, but Billy Turner got my game ball. Had he not played to that level, they may have thought about that. But I think you can expect David Bakhtiari. I have no inside knowledge. If I did, I wouldn't disclose it to you, Tom. But I don't think he'll play. I mean, and it's not because Minnesota is bad. I don't think he should play because you're right. Your point is correct. Matt LaFleur has to manage a 17-week game, not a week by week game when it comes to injuries. He got to make sure Aaron Jones is available in week 10 when you're making that run, then him being available now, and then it's another injury that's a setback.
Right.
So he's doing a great job. His assistants are doing a great job. And I don't know a lot of these coaches' names, but the offensive line coach really has to get one of the game balls for, I mean, come on. If you start the season and say you're starting 5 with those 2 left tackles, you would have thought the Packers would have been 2-3 at this point, but they're not. They're 5-1. So before the Packers feel sorry for 1-6 teams or 2-5 teams, they've been having a lot of injuries. I mean, think about this time. I mean, you got to take this to the next level. Chris Barnes was emerging into a nice young up-and-coming player. He gets hurt.
Right.
Activate him. And he's ready to play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just remarkable that they have to make sure these guys are ready to play. And so a shout out goes to Matt LaFleur having his guys prepared.
Yeah. I think that's accurate. That the one thing they've done is when guys have gotten hurt, they figured out ways to not make it absolutely devastate them. And they've had a little bit of luck in the fact that Aaron Jones gets hurt before the Houston game against a team that's the worst defense in the league. But I also wonder if they were getting ready to play the Bears, whether Aaron Jones would have played.
I think, is that a question?
Yeah, well, sure. You can take it as one if you'd like.
I was hoping it wasn't. That's a good question. I'm going to say he wouldn't have played because I think the Packers are creating a system now, and the system is plug and play. Jamal Williams, who's I'm a huge fan of Jamal Williams, I think he is one of the few guys that could have played in the 90s with our team. I thought we were really tough and smart. He was ready. He was prepared. He was ready. Most guys, you miss your backup running back, like Carolina. You miss Christian McCaffrey. Things look, it's okay, but it don't look. Listen, when you miss Aaron Jones, you take away a lot as a receiver. But when Jamal stepped in, he did a great job. I mean, that's a lot of good coaching and guys being prepared. So, and that's what Minnesota's going to face you with. I mean, Minnesota's they have nothing to lose, Tom. They're going to watch this interview, I'm sure they do, and say, well, no one's giving us a chance, so we're going to go out and we're going to blitz and we're going to double Devontae Adams and we're going to force other guys like MVS and Taylor. We're going to force those guys to beat us. We're going to take away, we're going to stack the box, make sure Jamal has nowhere to run, and every now and then just take our chances. But I know they won't do that because Zimmer's going to be stubborn and stick to his ways, and they're going to do the same thing. Devontae Adams probably break the record this week, have about 15 catches for 212 yards and 5 touchdowns. You never know. But whatever it is, if it's a low scoring, a high scoring game, the Packers should be ready, and they will not be looking past them to the San Francisco game, which is on a short week, by the way.
Yeah. So one thing that we should probably talk about is the fact that they are a week away from the trade deadline. And I would suspect that most trades are going to probably happen this week because it takes 6 days for guys to come in. I mean, there still could be trades next week, but we're starting to see the trades come in because most people want those guys right now. And they know they got to wait 6 days before they can come in and start practicing because of COVID protocol.
Sure. Well, let's play a game real quick for the next 60 seconds. I don't want player. But what position would you like to see them?
I think they need another wide receiver. I think that's goes without saying. I think they could possibly use an inside linebacker to create some depth. What about you?
Well, I seen there was some reports out there that they tried to get Zach Ertz. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a pass-catching tight end. They seem to love tight ends to go with this group when Josiah DeGuara got hurt. That kind of made Jay Sternberger your move guy now. He moving a lot. I mean, a slot guy, I guess that could be Seth Roberts, I guess. But for the most part, I agree with you. Inside linebacker and safety would be two positions. A little biased there because I really think you need to start shoring up your defense.
Safety, now. Really?
Yeah,
I didn't like what you saw from Vernon Scott and Henry Black had that huge fumble, caused fumble in the end there.
Again, I think they should get a safety, and I think they should get inside linebacker. You can never have enough good defensive backs. I mean, that's just a fact. I would go so further to say I would get another corner. I mean, if you didn't want to do safety, because otherwise, if Kevin King can't play, I mean, you got to rotate the Josh Jackson and the Sullivans and these guys out there. And if you play a team with two good, fast receivers with a great quarterback, you could be in for a track meet. So I feel better if it was more defensive backs back there with a little bit more experience. Because when you start to play some of the good teams in the next 4 or 5 weeks, they're definitely going to be throwing the ball down the field. But
yeah,
they're not going to trade for anybody.
No,
they don't have any money to do that.
The bottom line is that to get a name player, you're going to have to take on some salary cap.
Exactly.
And any salary cap money you take on affects who you're going to resign.
Well, when you yelled at me and I told Janet to put you in punishment about the J.J. Watt thing.
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
But I told her that you were being mean to me and she's supposed to talk to you about that.
And you know,
be yelling at you.
I actually think the Packers should be sellers and not buyers. I think
we got to say that
they have a chance to do some cut back some salary cap that could help them re-sign Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones. And I think they should think about it.
Tom says that the Packers should be sellers and LeRoy disagrees. What are you trying to make news on this show? This is don't be doing that.
I mean, think about it.
I have thought about
it. When is Jamal Williams ever going to be more valuable than he is right now? When would you ever get more for him than you would right now? And you're going to lose him after the season. He's leaving on free agency.
So what do you
why not trade him now when you got him and then you got A.J. Dillon?
What do you want, a draft pick for Jamal?
Yeah, you'd want a
draft pick that probably won't make the team. No, you keep Jamal.
No, that's not true. Your 5th round draft pick is Kamal Martin, and look at how good he's doing.
Tommy missed 5 games. I mean, I get it. Listen, we need to have more time on this because we are clearly. I know this is the election season. Make sure you vote, by the way. Everybody, please go vote. If you're in Wisconsin, I mean, they've made it to where you can't mail it and get it after the ballot after November 3rd. So make sure you get those ballots in. We need to spend more time on this because we are far apart on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way apart.
I think they got to think about the long-term future. Anyway,
You think about winning the Super Bowl, and that's keeping the players.
Back to the Vikings in this game. What do you think? So if Dalvin Cook plays, it's a little bit of a different game because he really is one of the best running backs in the NFL, and you've got to contain him somehow. They did a pretty decent job in the first game.
Well, he's always injured. I mean, so I don't know. But Madsen is a pretty capable young running back if they want to run the ball. But it's still about Jefferson and Adam Thielen. It's Adam Thielen against Jair Alexander. That's the matchup I want to see.
Yeah.
But Jefferson, again, has been a rookie that's putting up numbers. Matter of fact, he was on my fantasy team. Well, he's still on my fantasy team. The kid put up a couple of weeks ago some big numbers. So, and I don't know if they really want to do that because Cousins is not that quarterback that you want to throw volume passes. But, you know, I think for the most part, though, you want to try to win this game. That's why I can get into my prediction now. But it's a divisional game that you need. And the reason why you need that is because anytime you play a division opponent, Tom, they know all about you. You know all about them. The systems, you know all the systems, know everything. And the Vikings would nothing better for them to come in here and try to beat the Packers and say the Packers were overlooking us and stuff like that. But there's too many guys who are playing. These guys are young enough who are playing. They don't know what it is to me looking past anybody. If this is a veteran team, maybe, but this is a young team now. I mean, you don't have your starting left tackle, and then you don't have your star running back. So it's going to be some problem. But the one thing you do have, you have the best quarterback. You got well, you know Devontae Adams is number. In case you didn't know, he's number 17. They're going to score points because that secondary is still no good. They traded away one of the best pieces on defense. So I expect the Packers to win this game. And specifically, I have a score if you'd like to me to indulge us. So I think it'll be 35-20. 20 seems to be the number, Tom, that the defense gives up. Like they play well, and it's garbage time at the end. And if the Packers in the 30s, they're going to win games. The only time they didn't win is they only scored 10 points. So I'm going to stick with that theme for a while. So I'll say the Packers win 35-20. Now, you do your predictions on your social media, but this is my show. Maybe you can hold your prediction to Saturday, maybe?
Mine comes out on Friday.
Friday? Well, I demand that you bring it out on Friday.
It will be there.
I pick the Packers next week. Me and Bill Schultz is doing this show.
Okay.
Why do you hate the Packers so much? I don't get it, man.
Why do I hate the Packers?
I'm reading text right here from the Packers. Ask him, why does he hate the Packers? No.
I am completely objective. That's
I know.
I don't have my green and gold underwear on like you do.
All the time. Full disclosure. But I don't have a problem with people saying their concerns about the Packers. I think you should do that. Hold everybody accountable. I just don't want it to get to where you don't care about teams with losing records, but you only care about the good teams. But when they beat the good teams, you move the goalposts. Let's try to be consistent. Let me be hyperbole and stuff like that. But I do want to thank my sponsors, though, real quick before we get out of here, because I know you're a busy guy. You got to go and write. I have to do a lot of Zoom calls with schools. I'm looking forward to that. So I want to thank the Jewelry Center, shoptjc.com. If you're looking for a ring for your wife or your husband, I mean, they got curbside service and everything. They got 3 locations. They actually come out to your car. They have a mask on. They're very clean. Everything is great. I want to thank Ivanhoe's Pub and Eatery. We ordered takeout there this weekend, and it was amazing. And you can even ask for the LeRoy Butler burger, too. They have something that's just – Tom, you got to try one of those. And, of course, the Game Day Brats. If you live locally in Wisconsin, in the Brookfield area, I'm trying to set up a way that if you come pick up, if you pick up so many, I think like 5 pounds or so, I'll actually be there on certain Saturdays, and you can take a photo with me. It's only for like RSV people, like 10 people. So you'll see all the information on the website. And again, I got to thank Pick and Save. We're on we just completed, almost completed. We're going to feed about 175 families now. I thought it was 50, but they want to do more. Thank you for Kroger and Pick and Save for doing that. So, and again, thank you for Bill Schultz for always making me look handsome. Tom, you need a little work, but you have perfect hair.
Thanks.
I always brag about your hair.
All right.
I do. You got great hair.
All right. Well, I'm just going to remind everybody to check out X's and O's, and we're going to take a look at a couple of plays from the Texans game that I thought were quite interesting in regards to how they were designed. So be sure you check into that, and then don't forget to join us after the game, about an hour after the game on Sunday, for our live Facebook event. And for that, I guess we'll say see you next time.
Bye.